Don't never let no man play in your face just for the sake of having the same baby daddy. Y'all be so worried about looking like a hoe. Sometimes hoes win. Play the game until you win. Get a different baby daddy. Get a different husband. Get a different man. Get get a new one.
The way they were flexing in her comic session, why would she be offended about her flexing about her family dynamic? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's how you know she was trying to play into the audience.
Yes, and I think she's just a female Derrick Jackson or whoever else you want to say.
Your first marriage, it didn't work out, and you want to try it again. I get that. But when you have the opportunity to get it right the first time and you're really invested in that person, I can't see myself doing this again. Like, I can't see myself giving somebody the same energy that I gave this man that I'm married to. It just, man, I ain't gonna be no good.
What's up, everybody? My name is Mel, and welcome to Life Coaching by Mel. Here at Life Coaching by Mel, we speak truth regarding the nuclear family. And if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you get each and every one of my videos. Hit that like button for me. Hit me in that comment section. Today is going to be an invigorating conversation that I know you want to contribute to, and be sure to share this with at least one person. Let's get into today's topic.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have a pleasure. I have a treat for you, I should say. One of my good buddies who come on often, so like a third or fourth time, I believe, my girl Tamera. How you doing, Tamera?
I am doing good, man. How are you?
It's a pleasure. I'm wonderful, as always, and it's a pleasure to have you on.
Well, thank
Tamera, I
you.
love having you on because, absolutely, well, you know, you're a dog, but you're a married woman. And I talk about a lot of these topics regarding women a lot, and, you know, some people are always coming there and saying, who are you to say something? You know, they try to discredit you immediately, you know, just on the mere fact that I'm a man. So I love having you on because not only are you married, you happily married. And I wouldn't say, well, let me ask you, I don't want to put anything on you. Would you say you wear your marriage as a badge?
Oh, I do. I mean, that's probably like one of the first things I would say about myself. I'm a wife. I'm a mom. Like, you know, normally that's probably like one of the biggest titles I wear. Yeah, so that's at the top.
I love it. I love it. So you're the perfect person to speak to on this topic. Ladies and gentlemen, we have I would say, crazy video that I want to let you guys hear, but you be the judge.
Today, I received a lot of feedback on Facebook saying that I had won at life because I have a husband and we have 4 kids together. But all my kids are by the same guy. I just want to let you guys know that I would have played that game until I got it right. I am not one of those women that would have set up and just for the sake of saying that I have the same baby daddy, let a man play in my face. Don't never let no man play in your face just for the sake of having the same baby daddy. Y'all be so worried about looking like a hoe. Sometimes hoes win. Play the game until you win. Get a different baby daddy. Get a different husband. Get a different man. Get a new one. Everybody replaceable. Y'all talking about you won. How y'all know I won for real? How you know? I did win. But if he would have turned out to be a crackhead, best believe I would have hit the road, Jack. Would have left him and them kids high and dry. What you talking about? What? Don't be scared to get no new baby daddy. Don't be scared to get no new man. Don't be scared to get no new girl. Play the game until you win. Okay? Play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
Tamera, what is your instant reaction to that?
Mixed.
All right.
Because I kind of understand her sentiments, but it was just kind of like some of the stuff that she was saying was weird about, you know, her husband now. You know what I'm saying? Like, he really ain't give you a reason to be talking like you talking. So this whole what if scenario was just a little weird for me. But I do wholeheartedly agree that you stop sticking around, you know. But I would say you would apply that advice when you ain't when you dating. You need to have that advice when you dating and you ain't got no kids. Like, it's just you're able to move seamlessly. It's just like, I just think it's so weird to have the mentality and then you decide to give this person a child or children. Like, you can't move like that. You can't just cut them off. My dating game was so strong and my cutoff game was so strong. I was adamant about not giving nobody no baby. Okay. Until he was my husband. And I stood on that. So I do give her sentiment. You know, get another one. But dating, when it's with kids is a little bit more complicated. Like you can't just, it ain't as easy as just finding a new man and you're leaving a whole marriage. First of all, if you're leaving a whole marriage, the divorce process in itself is a lot. Then you got to heal from that, even because that's like years. And then you think, you're going to be ready to just go find another one, no, it ain't.
Right.
You're bringing baggage and you're bringing trauma. So it's not as simple as that. And then let's be honest, everybody that's been a wife was not necessarily wife material. So
No doubt.
again, we're making this assumption like it's always the man that's the problem. So I don't think that's necessarily fair, because if the marriage failed, sweetie, he just didn't do it by himself. I feel like that's a failure on both of y'all's part. Now, whether you did anything wrong in the marriage, the failure started in choosing him as a partner.
That's real. That's so real.
It's still a failure in choice. Okay, so and it just comes with the territory, and it's not to like condemn anybody but it is what it is. A divorce is not a successful marriage. It's just an ending. And so I just don't think, you can't just pick it up and get another one. And then I've seen women that have moved like that do pick up and get another one, and they've been married multiple times. And then in the end, that's still draining, because I'm married now and I'm happily married, and I'm just thinking to myself, ain't nobody getting this type of energy. Like, I just feel like when you, and I only say that because I feel like when you get it right, I can understand if, your first marriage, it didn't work out and you want to try it again. I get that. But when you have the opportunity to get it right the first time and you're really invested in that person, I can't see myself doing this again. Like, I can't see myself giving somebody the same energy that I gave this man that I'm married to. It just, man, I ain't gonna be no good.
Yeah.
Because I know, and it's not to say that I love being married, but I just don't think anybody, when you find the right person, you're not supposed to be finding the right person over and over and over and over again, is my thought. So yeah, I don't think you can always pick it up. And I've seen women that have been married multiple times, and then by the time they get to like the third or fourth marriage, now they don't want to be married no more. Well, it sounds like you the problem, sweetie. So
yeah, that's what I wanted to kind of chime in on, because it's like you said, you're assuming that the man was the only issue, or the partner, because she did say, don't choose the wrong woman as well. So I'm assuming she was trying to be neutral, but yeah, you're assuming that partner is the only issue. Like, you're not mentioning any issue that you had, so you're carrying over that same you to the next relationship, and not resolving anything within yourself. Moving on to that next relationship. I will speak as the divorcee and now newly married on this show. I would say, like, it is traumatic. It's a traumatic process. Divorce is horrible. No matter how amicable you two are, as you transition, it's still a grueling process to get it, to complete it. Now you're going to say, hey, and honestly, most people have rough transition to the next relationship. Most people are already working on that next relationship while they're still in that relationship. But now you're going to say you're going to move on to the next person without truly taking an in-depth look at what went on with yourself. And that's an issue. So like you said, most people, when they go to the next relationship, actually the divorce rate is higher as you go. Second, third, however high you go, the divorce rate is higher, because more often than not, people don't resolve the things within themselves. Now I want to push this back at you and ask this question, Tamera, as the woman on this show. I say all the time that women in our generation go into marriage with 1 foot in, 1 foot out mentality. Like,
I was just going to hit on that. Yep.
Go ahead. It seems that they always have the end in mind, as they're getting into marriage. What do you say?
Yep. That was going to be my next point, actually. Like, you're already talking about it going wrong before it actually even goes wrong, or the assumption is that it's going to go wrong. And to your point, where the people that have been married multiple times, like, it's just like you're so used to a marriage ending. It ain't nothing for you to get married and then get a divorce. That ain't how you supposed to be thinking, right? It almost kind of warps your ideology of what marriage is supposed to be, because it was so easy for you to get out of those first, several marriages that you had. I feel like because you're doing it so often, you're almost losing the respect, the honor, that comes with that. And you kind of demean it based on how you're treating it. Like, it's not supposed to be something that marriage was not made for you to be sitting here and be married multiple times. Like, you should, after the second one, just be single. What are we doing? What are we doing? Okay, because you're ruining it. You're ruining it when I feel like people just constantly try to, they treat it like dating. And let me tell you, I feel like women who do that remember those little mean girl Christians that post I was talking about?
Yeah,
that's what it's given, right? Like, you only are like, you're using Christianity as a cloak. You're using a Christianity, like you're getting married because you want to have sex. You want to, like, you're not doing it for godly purposes. You're doing it to look right in the eyes of man and not necessarily in the eyes of God, in my opinion. I feel like women tend to do that because, well, why would you press to get married just to turn around and be fine with getting a divorce? That's what's mind-boggling to me. Like, why would you even push a man to marry you if you're okay with getting a divorce, period?
Yeah.
I understand the inevitable happens sometimes, and there are some times where, a divorce is, warranted. But like you said, if you got one foot out the door, one foot in already, like, I feel like that's a marriage that's destined to fail. And you're supposed to look at your partner as somebody that you can't live without, right? To a certain degree. I'm not saying that you have to be you should be interdependent, but you should have that appreciation, of them. They complete you. There's a reason why he says, God says you become one, because when you're without that person, this is why you have to heal, because y'all are literally embedded, to a certain degree in one another, and you have to undo that. So it's a lot. Like, it's not this old simple thing. Like, you can just undo it as easy as she made it seem. She wouldn't even be able to. And it'd be so funny to be the women that talk like that, because if she were to go through that, she would not be able to bounce back the way she's saying she's going to bounce back. She ain't gonna be able to do it. And when your kids start talking, I miss daddy, or when I'm gonna see daddy, or how come daddy's not home, or when is daddy? When they start asking them questions, then you really gonna get agitated. Okay, then you really gonna start getting your feelings. Then you're gonna really look at what you did to your family, and did you really put your best effort in to fix what could have possibly been fixed? Them kids, boy, I'm telling you, they had you looking at
no doubt about it. That's a very emphatic point, and I think that's what's lost in a lot of modern women conversation. Like, it seems like they're only talking about themselves. It seems like they're only referring to what's best for them. And I can see that if you without child, but I don't see how anyone can argue that separate home and co-parenting is the best situation. We do know that kids make it in spite of co-parenting situations, but if you look at any statistic out there, single parent homes tend to be a strain, first of all, and then through that strain, the child take the brunt of that, the issues, and they act out in so many different various ways. So,
but sometimes they don't act out. Sometimes, to add to what you're saying, a lot of times they don't speak up. It's your mom. So are you really going to go against what that's the person that's there every day. That's the person that's taking care of you. That's the person you see on a regular basis. Moms kind of get put on this pedestal. What I'm finding, a lot of kids are not speaking up, and they're not saying how they're feeling emotionally. I've seen, kids, I was that kid, I grew up in a broken home. But when you're the oldest child, you just learn to kind of adapt and go with what the situation that's handed to you, at the time. But like, kids are getting torn up on the inside. I've seen, and how many people, Mel, you can't even, I'm sure you can attest to this. How many grown adults, have you encountered that have parent issues? And I'm not saying it's just daddy issues or just mommy issues, just in general, Yes. So, I mean, case in point, like, kids struggle. And they turn into adults that struggle. So
I say mine. I raise my hand because a lot of my issues with my parents I had to end up resolving started once they finally got divorced, and it kind of tore me apart. I don't know why I took it. I think I was 30 at that point. I still took it the hardest out of all my siblings, and I had to do a lot of deep dive.
Are you the oldest?
You know, I'm the oldest. My sister, she went away at 18. My older sister.
Okay.
So pretty much I am. Technically I am.
Okay, so you were close. So how far apart are you and your older sister?
We all four of us are 4 years apart.
Oh, okay. So fairly close. Okay, fairly close. Fairly close. I'm just curious.
Yeah, but she just went away and did her own thing at that point. But you're spot on, 100% correct on that. And I think, like I said, I look at my life and a lot of turmoil that my parents went through. They stayed together for 30 years, but it was just so much stuff going on. And I always look at kids that are under me, kids I mentor or even within my family, and I say, like, look, I made it on the other side of this, and it's a testament to what can happen. You try to be your best for them, but kids find a way to survive and honestly thrive throughout that. But that doesn't mean that you can disregard them when it comes to your relationship. Yeah, the decision that you make within that. I want to go forward and ask this to you because I don't know if you caught when she said, how do you know what I'm going through? How do you know if I'm living that great life? However she worded it.
Y'all talking about you won. How y'all know I won for real? How you know?
That was valid too. That was another point.
Yeah, it was. And if you caught her eyes, she kind of looked forward away from the camera. I'm speculating, but I'm assuming she was looking in the direction of her man. So it can very well be she's 100% correct. Like, how do we know? We don't know. So you're someone that talks about
relationships be fake online.
That's where I'm going. You someone that display your relationship or at least discuss it a lot online. I know I do. How important is it to you to be an accurate representation of what your life is online?
Very accurate. I give details to a certain degree, but I definitely want to protect my family. You both know how rude and disrespectful the internet can get. And, I feel like my family is my peace. So I'm going to do what I can to kind of protect it. But I don't mind being transparent to a certain degree. There are boundaries that I have. I did catch what she said. I did catch her eye look when she said that. I don't know. I kind of look at it as a flex that you've been married and you do have all your kids by the same person. I kind of did what's wrong with it, being proud? Just like single moms are proud that they make it because they survived and kept the baby alive and made it through high school. So why can't we be proud of, our family dynamic to a certain degree? I just think that's just her personality and the type of woman she is. It's almost like she delivered it from a woman's perspective. She delivered it in a way to appeal to more women and their mentality and to kind of make it seem like even though I'm married, I'm still like a girl's girl. I'm still, riding for y'all. I was still drunk. That's what it's given. So I do think that you should be authentic in, how you present yourself and don't try to be all extra. If it's not really terrible, then it's okay to say that it's not terrible and you hope your marriage lasts. Like, what's wrong with saying that? What's wrong with saying, that I hope things work out and I know I got me a good one and flex. Like I am lucky that I have a good one. And, but it's just almost like it's almost like that. She kind of has a mentality like, at the end of the day, all men are the same. That's what it's giving. Like you're almost kind of expecting him to be a man, and whatever that means to them.
For real. You're spot on when you're talking about trying to, kind of placate to the audience and you pointed out her the comment section. Let's take a look at that.
Oh my gosh, I think I forgot about that. I was so disappointed in the comment. In the way they were flexing. Like it was just okay, so then, but why would it be, why did she, the way they were flexing in her comic session, why would she be offended about her flexing about her family dynamic? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's how you know she was trying to play into the audience.
Yes. And I think she's just a female Derrick Jackson or whoever else you want to say. It's like, and like I ain't trying to make it just a black woman thing, but have you noticed that whenever someone's trying to make it big on the internet on our sector, they just placate the black women and just say what they want to hear, and you know, here come the money, here come the money. It's just the way it rolls. And anybody who speak against this, you know, you the worst thing since the devil.
Oh, I can attest for that because they can't stand me and they can't.
Right. I mean, you got comments here saying hoes do be winning a lot though. I know so many hoes from high school that's married.
Well, time out. Hoes do be winning. Let's talk about that for a second, Mel. What did the hoe win? A hoe?
Ooh.
Mel, what did she win? Because typically how you get them is how you lose them. So what did she win?
Right.
I mean, what are we winning? What are we winning? I thought men weren't the prize. Mel, so what are we winning?
Hey, they eat their own arguments. Like one argument eat the other, and I'm like, it don't make sense. Like, I don't know many hoes, man. I mean, a dude may be with a hoe for a long time, but I thought hoes. I ain't know hoes got married. I personally did not know hoes got married. And then once they are. Say one more time.
I said male hoes get married. They eventually want to sit down somewhere and find somebody. So I do think hoes get tired. But then that goes back to the subject. You don't really know if you're dealing with a hoe unless you've been knowing them since childhood. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, you're really going off somebody's character. So you don't really know nobody. I don't think that's a usual question that you ask people what their body count is, or you typically go off of their character. And if they're giving you like somebody that's respectable, I don't feel like that's a question that has to be asked. As long as you ain't got no STD and you ain't got babies everywhere, then your past can stay in your past to a certain degree. But your character has to match. And if it don't,
absolutely. Then don't most people lie about that anyway? Boy, I made the mistake and I told the truth. I told the truth. On the third date.
So she asked you, or did you ask her?
Asked me. Now she asked me out the blue, and it was like I had never at that point. I don't think a woman just straight up asked me just out the blue. It was like 10 years ago, maybe even 15. And I was like, I said, let me just tell the truth. As you can imagine, I never heard from him again. But I mean, I just think don't most people lie about that, first of all.
No, I've seen some guys. Okay, so I remember it was before I was married and I was dating, and there was this one guy. I told him, he asked me, and I think he asked me because he used to work with a celebrity back in the day, and he used to travel with them, so he used to get some of the fan base because
that's hanger-ons.
Yes, correct. Correct. So anyway, I told him my count, and he told me he didn't think I would be that good in bed because my quantity wasn't as high as he would have liked it to be. Male. And he's told me he has slept with between like 300 to 400 women. Male, I'm nowhere in that. But I'm inexperienced.
So that's the thing. With men, it's no gray area with that. Like, I think men, we either want you very experienced, like we don't want to teach you nothing. I know some men don't want virgins at all. And then you got men who I want a virgin. I want to be all you've ever had. There's no like gray. I never met a lot of guys who's gray in that. Right. So it's a beautiful thing if you find what you prefer in that area. But it's tough. That conversation is tough to move on from. So I don't know. I think from my experience, most women don't tell the truth. I always add about 4 or 5. You know, whatever she tell me, I put about 4 or 5 more on there, and and just assume the worst. But I don't ask. I didn't ask my wife. I didn't. You know, it came out over time. But
I don't feel like that's a normal question that you ask. Like when even when me and my husband were dating, I think it eventually came up, but that was not like my first thought. Like, he's dealt with people. I've dealt with people. Like,
right.
When you first meeting somebody, they dated other people. Like,
we grown.
I don't know. I just think it's such a weird question.
It definitely is.
And if you're dating a hoe, you'll find out if you're dating a hoe.
Very quick. I think to wrap this up, I think like you said, she does have a point to a certain degree as far as moving forward and not lingering on with somebody or hanging on with someone that's so detrimental. But I think we need to make a point and say, let it be drastic things, let it be traumatic things, let it be something that's really causing you
worth
like you actually been abused or things of that nature. Like, I think we just in this notion or have this notion about us that, like you said, marriage is replaceable and marriage can be, something that we do, just a transaction. This is an actual covenant relationship. Right. Absolutely. And that stems from the way we move, honestly, in my opinion, too fast in regular relationships. We don't take the courting phase seriously enough. I'm not saying a time frame have to be about it, but you really should be very, very into that. Like, it should be something that has your keen focus, your 100% attention, where you giving it your all in order to figure out if this person is viable for you. And I think that we're taking it too frivolously. I think you talked about it in the video before, just how quick we have sex within the process, how quick we move to marriage activities within the process. And I think that is what clouds our judgment. And then once we're in the marriage, we see things clearly now. The rain is gone, and we start to see those red flags we missed during that dating process. And that's why we ready to pull that trigger and leave about this thing. So I think that's, like I said, she had a good message, but I think she missed the mark a little bit.
Delivery was a little weird for me.
As we wrap up here, what message would you have to ladies? Because ladies took to this a little bit more, just how to take that process a little bit more serious prior to getting married. What message would you have?
You really got to go off character. Be careful who you listen to, because I've even found that even some married women can give you terrible advice. But even when you're dating, pay attention to his, overall characteristics. I mean, even if he doesn't have it all together from like a financial standpoint, if he's a man that's, a hard worker, respectful, knows how to communicate, just the core characteristics that you need to kind of work with, everything else will fall in place. But you really got to vet, and don't stick around for too long. Like, I think I made a video, even when dating or even when you're in a relationship, what you're seeing within the first 2 years is that person. Okay. So you have to be able to dictate, if this is something that you can live with, for the rest of your life. And if you can find out within that time frame, within that first month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever, but within those 2 years, they're going to give you what they are, and don't ignore it and decide what you're gonna do. That's all I
got. No doubt about it, ladies and gentlemen. Give a hand clap once again to my girl. You can find her on Instagram, TikTok. Where's your own YouTube? Where's
I'm coming to YouTube. Well, I am on YouTube, but we about to jump start that channel again. So Neil helping me kick this off.
Yes, indeed. Find her at Just Live Mara. Tamera, once again, thank you so much for coming on.
All right, thank you, Mel.
Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Mel. Thank you for joining my channel. Thank you for checking things out here. Oftentimes we go on people's pages and are like, man, what is going on here? What is the purpose of this channel? So let me be clear. The purpose of this channel is to speak truth regarding the nuclear family. And when I say truth, I'm not saying my truth, not your truth, but the Lord's truth. All about the word, all about the ways and the will of God. What does he have to say about the nuclear family? And I believe the generations of today, whether it be Gen X, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Y, whatever the case may be, I believe now we have a very toxic relationship regarding marriage, regarding family, regarding having children. We're in a toxic dynamic as we speak. And honestly speaking, a lot of the answers that we're looking for in our community, a lot of the cures and a lot of the answers would come from a proper, fulfilled family home. If you go down the line of everyone's individual trauma, there you will find some negligence or some type of issue that they had with their parents. So here on this channel, we address those things head on. We don't place fear in those issues and avoid the topic. We do what Jesus did. And when he said, don't assume that I came for peace, but I came with a sword. I came to turn family members against family members if it means you following me. If you have to cut them off, if you have to address them and have arguments for you to follow me, so be it. And I think at this point in our society, we're at the so be it stage. So here at Life Coaching by Mel, I'm all about bringing healing to that. And the number one way to do that is have honest conversations. So if that's something you like, that's something you're into, that's something you really want to be a part of, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Be sure to comment. Let me know what you think about everything. I do my best to respond as often as I can. I want to hear from you guys. This is not about me. It's about healing our nation, healing our states, healing our cities, healing our community, healing our homes. Love you guys. Take care.
Let's go.